All right, we just have the Daily Yahoos left. There's two. Here's the one for August 8th, yesterday. Daisy Coleman's death was a tragedy more common among sexual assault survivors than you might think.
Oh, yeah.
Daisy Coleman, an activist against sexual violence and the subject of the 2016 Netflix documentary Audrey and Daisy, died by suicide at the age of 23. Honestly, I mean, having your that kind of a story about you exploited like that is really not the best way to move on and keep yourself mentally healthy.
Oh, yeah. But enough people tell you it's good to get your story out there, but we need to have more people get their story out there. That's true. We need to have more people reporting because we need to have all rapists murdered. I mean, assassinated.
Yeah, they should be.
But
they should be reporting it, but they don't have to be revealing their intimate stuff to the entire world. I can't imagine that is healthy.
I don't think it is either, but that's the whole point of how emotionally scarring it is. Psychologically scarring it is, how awful it is. That's why we shouldn't have women in situations like that.
Put in situations like that?
I was going to get off on a tangent on women in the military, but we're not going to do that. But it's psychologically damaged. Awful thing. I mean, I can imagine what it would do to me.
Didn't it sort of happen to you once?
Yeah, but there's a fat chick. That's not the same as like a giant, a man who just forcibly...
Oh, yeah. True.
...can control every movement I make.
I don't think there is such a man out there, unless it was the Big Show.
No to, or the fat chick that you wake up after she's already ridden you. A little different than a forcible rape by a giant who just overpowered you and beat you.
Facebook axes fake accounts claiming to represent black support for Trump. What's your proof that they were fake? Because they were black support for Trump?
That was their proof.
Accounts linked to a Romanian troll farm and the Epoch Times. Accounts linked to Romanian troll farm and the Epoch Times, because the Epoch Times is just as bad as a Romanian troll farm. Pushed disinformation about Trump's campaign, the coronavirus, and anti-racism protests. This is from HuffPost.
Oh, then that's fake news.
AP sources. Whitmer met with Biden as he nears VP decision. Oh, but she's not black. Governor Gretchen Whitmer traveled to Delaware last weekend to meet with Joe Biden, the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee's first known in-person session with a potential running mate as he nears a decision.
Fuck that. I hope he selects her. She's the one that just turned down a bill that would bar them from putting COVID patients into rest homes and nursing homes.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, she's going to...
Like Cuomo did.
Wasn't that her rule?
Yeah.
Exactly, so why would she say okay to that bill? She doesn't want to admit that she did a bad thing.
Murder?
I know, but she's not going to want to admit that.
I would call it murder. Hey. See a sick person who's got this thing that kills old people? I'm going to need you to go live in that place filled with old people.
Whitmer visited Biden Sunday, according to two high-ranking Michigan Democrats.
She's also the governor of the state where the dude who didn't test positive, he was a false positive or whatever.
Beat up old people?
Didn't he kill an old guy?
I think he just beat
assaulted
him very badly. I don't remember.
Anytime you beat an old man and he doesn't die, then you did a bad job at it.
Cash short U.S. biofuel industry cuts lobbying even as Iowa looms large in election. Cash short U.S. biofuel industry cuts lobbying even as Iowa looms large in election. A top U.S. biofuel industry trade group said it has cut lobbying spending as the coronavirus panic has slammed members eager to press demands with President Donald Trump who hopes to win the corn-producing state Iowa in November. Reduced clout could complicate the industry's so-and-so. Okay. Isn't it a good thing for us to have less lobbying? Don't we need less lobbying from everybody?
Yeah. Lobbying is special issues, but some lobbying is, okay.
Well, that's why I just said less.
But why would they need to lobby? Because there's been a lot of deregulation, so yeah, biofuels probably did lose some money, but they're not cutting it out because of COVID. They're cutting it out because they don't make any fucking money. Because just to run one car, you need like a ton of corn. Ethanol is the biggest lie they've sold anybody in a long time. That's a problem with most of these green fuels. People don't realize the greenest fuel we have right now,
Nuclear.
petrol form, is diesel. Now, cleanest energy out there
Okay.
is nuclear.
Okay, quote, I don't care. Trump responds to intel that Russia is working to get him elected again. Trump insists he's the last person Russia would want to see in the White House. This one is from HuffPost, too.
I'm still tripping on this whole... We've already proven, y'all shout it out,
That it was a lie.
that there was no Russian collusion. There's evidence. There is congressional statements by all the people who said they saw proof saying, oh, I haven't seen shit. To Congress.
And what do they expect him to do? If
They've
he's
got no
not
evidence.
actually involved in it, then I don't care is like an okay response.
They even got to, what do you call it? Impeachment. And still couldn't prove shit. And Trump has proven that Putin doesn't like him. Putin on the Ritz. But Putin doesn't like him. China doesn't like him. He's not well liked by anybody. In all honesty. Except for maybe his wife and his son. And daughters. His family.
Does Boris Johnson like him?
Probably not, because he gets compared to him all the time.
7.
Like, I want to be my own Boris Johnson. I don't want to be no Trump Boris Johnson.
7 alcoholic drinks ranked from bad to worst for your skin.
I'll move on.
I'm sorry, from Cosmopolitan. Well, this is Yahoo News. They have to do one or two frivolous things. Stay up to date on coronavirus. Yeah, I always tell Yahoo I don't trust them to keep me up to date on coronavirus.
Because they're lying.
Trending now. Tubi movies. Catherine Langford. Coronavirus. Always at number 3. SpongeBob SquarePants. Allison Brie. Campaign signs. Rose Byrne. Workers' compensation insurance. Lauren Boebert. And EIN application number. The funny thing about the Yahoo search trending thing, almost always when there's a real person on the list, it's a woman. And coronavirus is always at number 3. And that's even more suspicious now that this one day I got 2 Daily Yahoo emails around the same time to 2 different email accounts. So I did them both. And because they had different stories. They weren't the same email. They had different stories.
Go on.
And
Tell me more.
the trending now list was all completely different. Except for number 3 was coronavirus.
That's always coronavirus.
Yeah.
Or some chick that nobody's ever fucking heard of.
Well, actually, I know most of these chicks.
Who are they?
Well, there was Allison Brie and Rose Byrne. You like her, actually.
I like Rose Byrne.
Catherine Langford sounds familiar. But no, I don't know who Lauren Boebert is.
Is she from New Zealand? Rose Byrne? She's
think
Australian.
she's one of those.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I thought she was related to Gabriel Byrne, but Gabriel Byrne's Irish.
Here's the last Daily Yahoo, and then we're done.
Please.
Trump allows some unemployment pay and defers payroll tax. President Trump signed orders deferring payroll taxes for some Americans and extending unemployment benefits after negotiations with Democrats hit an impasse.
Or as the Democrats say, he gutted Social Security and Medicare.
Well, hold on. I sort of looked at this earlier. I didn't read the whole thing. Listen to this. President Donald Trump on Saturday bypassed the nation's lawmakers as he claimed the authority to defer payroll taxes and replace an expired unemployment benefit with a lower amount after negotiations with Congress on a new coronavirus rescue package collapsed. Trump's orders encroached on Congress's control of federal spending and seemed likely to be met with legal challenges. He was just trying to streamline the whole argument, right? Because
he's just trying to help
there's
the
people
American
suffering
people.
out here.
But
meanwhile, they're
the
arguing
big thing is,
over
they think we're fucking
stuff.
retarded because 2012.
Yeah. Anyway, listen.
Obama did the same shit.
The president cast his actions as necessary given that lawmakers have been unable to reach an agreement to plunge more money into the stumbling economy, which has imperiled his November re-election. So they're saying that he only cares about his re-election. He's not doing this because he cares about the American people or his job. It's just his re-election. Trump moved to continue paying a supplemental federal unemployment benefit for millions of Americans out of work during the outbreak. However, his order called for up to $400 payments each week, $400 payments each week, 1/3 less than the $600 people had been receiving. I think they should have cut it in half. How many people would receive the benefit and how long it might take to arrive were open questions. Well, I mean, if it has to be compromised like that, then do a clear compromise that's half.
It is. Dems wanted 6, Republicans wanted 2. The middle of that is 4.
Republicans should have asked for 0.
Well, considering not all the Republicans are involved, there's 20 that won't vote for anything.
Trump hopes the 4 executive orders he signed will signal to Americans that he is acting where Congress will not to address economic fallout from the COVID-19 panic, which has upended nearly all aspects of American life. Trump hopes that because of his re-election. It's unclear what the economic impact of his actions will be, and his orders do not address several areas that have been part of the congressional negotiations, including funding for schools and state and local governments. I'm guessing the economic impact will be about what it was last time this sort of thing was passed, right? We're going to have a lot more long-term debt, but hopefully a positive effect on the economy right now.
Yeah, well, it won't really do any damn good unless we get people to stop doing fucking lockdowns.
Yeah.
And if we allow businesses to open up all the way.
Yeah.
Because you can't stimulate an economy if you don't put air in the tires. It's like riding a bike with flat tires.
Maybe once he gets reelected, he'll, put the hammer down on these stupid governors.
Well, if we have a clean election that doesn't result in a civil war and he wins, then all these governments, these Democrat governments, are going to instantly flip and restart their economies because they'll fucking realize they need the money.
Mm.
Also, there's going to be a bunch of people not reelected in November, especially if they're governors or mayors in places that are really shitholes.
Mm.
Especially places that have defunded the police because all the people that are too poor to move, who have to drive 25, 30 miles to go buy groceries because truck drivers will not deliver to their city anymore. Yeah, they're going to get new leadership so they can get the police department back.
That would be nice. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer dismissed Trump's actions as meager in the face of economic and health crises facing Americans. Democrats initially sought a $3.4 trillion package because that would be good for us.
Yeah,
but said
trillion, but
but said they lowered their ask in talks to $2 trillion. Republicans had proposed a $1 trillion plan.
Now, the Republicans actually came to terms with a $2 trillion plan, which they said was a non-starter because it didn't include that $600 bonus.
Yeah. Trump's Democratic opponent in the presidential race, Joe Biden, called the orders a series of half-baked measures and accused him of putting at risk Social Security, which is funded by the payroll tax. Yeah, they only care what Democrats say.
Except for the fact where
they only care what Democrats say about Trump's
Social Security
actions.
should not be threatened at all because it's not a pay-as-you-go system.
They didn't quote any Republicans.
The problem is the Democrats have stolen so much money from Social Security that it would be threatened. But you see, the only people threatened by removing Social Security or losing Social Security money now should be the people who have like 30 years before they're on Social Security. All the people now, the people who are on Social Security, there should already be their money there. That's the problem with Social Security. It's supposed to be like retirement plan because they took your money and now they're giving it back to you. This is a completely unconstitutional system in the first place. But for some reason, it managed to pass muster. One of the 3 programs that actually passed FDR. Most of his stuff got shut down by the Supreme Court, which is why they wanted to go to 12 justices. They wanted to pack the courts so that all that socialism could keep going. But
Trump's embrace of executive actions to sidestep Congress ran in sharp contrast to his criticism of former President Barack Obama's use of executive orders on a more limited basis. Barack Obama did not limit his use of executive orders.
No. He didn't have as many as Bush, but he was pretty liberal with them.
Though Trump cast it as a necessary step given the deterioration of congressional negotiations, yeah, I tend to sort of agree. Because they keep going on fucking recesses, and in between the recesses, they can't agree on anything.
Yeah, they're like, I'm going to go on recess, I'm going to go on vacation, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
The president himself was not an active participant in those talks. The orders, quote, will take care of pretty much this entire situation as we know it, Trump said, despite the fact that they are far smaller in scope than congressional legislation, and even aides acknowledged that they didn't meet all needs. Well, Congress needs to do its job a little bit.
Congress needs to do their damn job. And maybe their job doesn't include bringing to the table a COVID bill.
At the same time that they're bitching about him taking the power away from Congress, they are bitching that he left Congress some work to do. Yeah.
Yeah, but
which is it? What do they want?
There would be a chance at a compromise if the Democrats could bring something to the table that didn't encroach on states' rights and remove voting things. How does that get to do anything with COVID? Removing the, what's the word?
Huh?
The signature authorization? Or
Authentication?
Yeah. And voter ID? The only reason you want to do that is to cheat. What the fuck? Racist fucks.
There's a whole lot more.
Aren't smart enough to get voter IDs.
There's a whole lot more of this, and I've just scrolled through it, so anybody who watches this and wants to read it can sort of read. Going back. Kanye and Northwest had an adorable dance-off to the viral Friday dance song.
Cool story, bro. North's
PJs are almost too cute, though, seriously. Not even a picture, though. I'm not going to click on that. Havana back on lockdown as coronavirus rebounds. Cuba placed Havana back on a strict lockdown on Saturday following a rebound in coronavirus cases, ordering restaurants, bars, and pools once more to close, suspending public transportation, and banning access to the beach. Because going out in the sun is so bad.
Oh, the sun that kills coronavirus?
Mm-hmm.
Cuba. Artificial sunlight?
Cuba, which has been hailed as a rare success story, apparently is no longer a success story. Whatever.
Rare success story?
Rare success story.
Based on what metric?
I have no idea.
Their communist dictatorship? Yeah.
I think they're talking about it in just their response to the coronavirus. I'm guessing they maybe had a low death rate.
Dictatorship. But yeah, when I locked down again, whatever.
Biden risks alienating young black voters after race remarks. They're actually talking about this. From the Associated Press.
Yeah, but they're gonna justify it. They're gonna protect him.
Joe Biden's controversial remarks about race this week risk alienating young black voters who despise President Donald Trump, but are not inspired by his Democratic rival. In a later interview with National Public Radio's Lulu Garcia Navarro, Biden seemed to draw distinctions between black and, yes, we know, Hispanic voters, or Latino voters, Latinx, whatever.
Latinx is racist.
Since when? I thought that was correct.
Problem.
Because saying Latino or Latina is sexist.
Yeah,
or transphobic.
Most Latin people don't like it. It's exclusionary.
Good. Everything Chriselle Staus said about her divorce from Justin Hartley on Selling Sunset. Apparently Justin Hartley got divorced.
Oh, that's sad.
The couple split suddenly last fall, and Selling Sunset cameras were there to capture the aftermath for the Netflix reality series. Okay. WeChat US WeChat US ban cuts off users linked to families in China. WeChat, owned by Chinese internet giant Tencent Holdings Limited, is popular among Chinese students, expats, and some Americans.
Find another way to communicate other than a damn Chinese spy ring.
I know, right? Who have personal or business relationships in China. Most popular messaging apps in the United States, including Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, and Telegram, have been blocked from communicating with China, I guess.
Stealing our information.
Yeah. Don't blame us. Blame the Chinese government. What's hot is Yahoo Search. Always it's Yahoo Search. VA loan requirements with Yahoo Search. Or high-quality sanitizers on Yahoo Search. Trending now, Jack Dorsey. Kerry Washington. Coronavirus, number 3. Halle Berry. Mercedes Kilmer. Is that in relation to
Probably. Move on.
Val, that's his fucking name. Auto Owners Insurance, Morgan Cohen, Justin Hartley. Obamacare plans. Why? 2020 Honda Accord. That's it. And that's it for Sundry Weekend News. It's been over 2 hours. Thank you to my guest.
It's been over 2 hours.
And good night.